Hello, I'm FPX Toycat, and one of the most common tutorials you see here on YouTube is how to survive your first night in Minecraft, which is a great idea if you've had literally no exposure to the game, don't know how any of the threats work, and honestly just want to avoid dying on your very first night. However, again, most people have actually played Minecraft at some point in the last decade, or at the very least heard about it and know how torches and sleeping works, so this first night tutorial is very outdated, and instead today I wanted to focus on what to do on your first day to maximize your value towards your long-term world. I've started hundreds of survival worlds at this point, and this is just Bedrock Windows 10 alone, so let's go into a brand new world together and let's talk about how to maximize the value you get from your first day if you're going in on a random seed. So with that said, let's go straight into it today because I like exploring new worlds, and let's start a new one and show you what to do with our first day to really maximize the value we get from it, because there are so many tips that people would tell you a decade ago that just don't make sense anymore. The only one that is true is the very first thing you do when you load into a world is you find the first tree you can and you chop it down. If you're in a desert, you chop down some dead bushes so you can get some sticks, and then you pray you find some wood later, but you need to have some form of wood to do pretty much everything in Minecraft. I recommend getting 5 pieces. Some people say, yeah, just chop down the whole forest. No, when you're using your fist, you want to be very, loose with how much wood you get. You can always come back later after you have tools. Again, the very first thing you do in a world, assuming there's no flowers around, if there are flowers, we'll skip ahead a little bit. If you find any flowers, always take at least one of each type with you. These are things you're going to value later. So I've got blue flowers, I've got red flowers, and then just over there, we've also got some pink tulips, if I'm not mistaken, and some oxeye daisies. This is incredible. We're going to make sure we take one of every flower we come across. This is something that saves so much time later, so just do it. The other thing that saves time is the first thing you want to do is find a cave near spawn. I spawned next to a cave, which is incredible for a random seed. So just to prove a point, I'm going to ignore this cave right here, and I'm instead going to say, find a cave anywhere you can. They're pretty easy to find in plains, forests, etc. Just look for an opening that looks something like this, and then you can go in and you can see if it's a small cave or a big cave. If it's a big enough cave, then you should be able to find some iron ore. As soon as you do find some iron ore, you're in business. If you don't find iron ore, if you're unlucky like me, what you want to do is place down your crafting table and make the one wooden tool you ever should. I can't believe how many YouTubers genuinely, without irony, advocate for making a wooden shovel and a wooden axe, etc. Let me show you on screen the time it takes you to punch a tree using your fist and the time it takes you to punch a tree using a wooden axe. It's so minor, you might as well not bother. Instead, no, the first thing you do is you get 3 stone to make a stone pickaxe, then you get 3 more stone and you can make a stone axe or whatever. But what I recommend doing, if you can, if you're lucky enough to find some iron in your cave, just go a step further. Get 8 cobblestone, you're going to need that for a furnace. Get at least a few bits of iron, as many as you can if they're available, and just skip straight to iron tier. Just for comparison here is what a, let's give you a few examples. Here is what a wooden shovel can do versus an iron shovel. Here's what a wooden axe can do versus an iron axe. Iron tools are a lot better than wood, everyone knows that, but what you might not know is that Minecraft's cave generation and how widely available they are at the surface makes it so easy to do those things that you're kind of the fool for not doing so. So yeah, you can skip straight to an iron axe if you want to. In this case, I'm going to make like a iron pickaxe, an iron sword, and then maybe a bucket as well. So I'm actually going to get myself a stone axe so that if I want more stone, I can do that too. Again, but even stone tools should be the minimum you're crafting. Even then, it should be like, well, you can do better than that, I'm sure. Like, I'm sure there is more iron in this cave somewhere, or that cave at spawn. But again, today, we've only got 10 minutes, so I want to focus. Actually, should we go down here? Okay, we're going to focus by going through this cave right here. And instead, I'm going to mention that, yeah, what you want to do is get a flower, at least one of every type you pass. One of the, issue, especially if you're trying to make a house, having colored blocks is really handy. And all you need to get a lot of dye is a type of flower. So, for instance, Azure Bluette, this thing right here, I want to say gives you light gray dye. Yeah, it gives you light gray dye. If you want light gray dye, you just need one of these. And if you want more of those, you just have to bone meal one of those flowers in the ground. It's one of those handy tips I've shown it before. We'll grab an oxeye daisy as well, because these are pretty flowers. You might want to place them in your nether or something. Who am I to judge you? Some pink tulips will give us pink dye. And just like that, we've got 5 flowers. So we've got 4 types of dye, because these 2 give you the same type of dye. Light gray, that is. I don't know why that is. But anyway, you can see we've got 4 types of dye, 5 types of flower. We've got iron already going, and the sun's not in the middle of the sky yet. This is the sort of thing you should be doing, not being like, oh, should I make a dirt shack or a wood shack? No. Again, it's not 2009. You don't need to live your life that way, and I don't know why YouTube videos pretend that you need to, but you don't. It's fine. So that, yeah, we're going to take these flowers we run past. We're very lucky in that this is like a very flower populated area. You don't usually expect to find this many distinct flowers, but again, take them all with you. You can empty them into the first chest you find, and with that said, let's talk about the first thing you do expect to find, because again, generally speaking, even if you spawn near an ocean, you should be within 1 day's walk of a village. That should be one of your first kind of catches. Oh man, look, there's tulips here. We might have every dye by the end of this first night. It's pretty incredible, actually. But so yeah, we've got, oh, I left my invite only on, it seems. Well, you know what? Leave invite only on. Let strangers join your game. Okay, and let them leave your game as well. They might enjoy that just as much. So yeah, as you can see, we've now got flowers. We've now got wood. We've got iron ready to smelt, basically. You might say, but how are you going to smelt it? You didn't get any coal. If you find coal, obviously that's great. But if you don't find coal, then my secondary recommendation, just use wood. Again, coal is great. Coal is intended for that job, but it's fine. Also, if you pass by any cows, you might as well kill them if they're on the way to where you're going. But really, is this guy just going to enjoy like leaving and joining over and over again? But anyway, so basically, what we need to do is we need to find ourselves next a village. Any village is going to work for what I'm trying to prove right here, just not a spruce village. If you're in a taiga biome, leave the taiga biome immediately. Find yourself a plains, find yourself a desert, or a savanna. These are 3 of Minecraft's most common biomes. They're very easy to spot, and the odds of you not spawning near one is rare. See, look, there's coal there. But because I've got more important priorities, I don't need to take that right now. I'd recommend taking it because you can make torches, but again, you don't need to grab a lot of it. Just grab enough to like make a torch to smelt 1 batch of iron, and then, you know, like one spare coal for, I don't know, like food or something. So yeah, you want to find villages, and if you're unlucky, and like me, you walk along this entire biome without finding one, then what I recommend is you've got a couple of options. One, we can kind of back on ourselves, but I actually really like oceans as a way to explore new biomes, or at least to find new access to biomes, especially because we've got such a wide variety we can accept. We could even take a snowy tundra biome if we really had to, or if we, again, if we saw one, we could go to a taiga village. But one of those 3 biomes will give you the best access to food that you can get. It will give you food that will last you for literally 3-4 hours of game time. Like, your first 30 nights will be covered. Let's say 25 nights, be conservative. But, you know, if you're unlucky, you'll get your first 20 nights covered by a village, as far as food goes. If you're lucky, you'll get your first 30 nights covered. It's worth spending a few minutes to go towards one of these, because here's the thing. Village and pillage made villages so darn useful that there's no good reason not to, again, like, unless you're doing like a without village run, which, sure, I'll give you respect if that's what your aim is, but unless you're doing one of those, you're going to need just a village anyway. And given that food is this ever-present concern, look at how I'm already on 5 hunger shanks, you want to be able to get to one. And the great thing about boats is boats will allow you, as you can see right here, we'll make a nice birch boat. Boats will actually allow you to travel the world without using any hunger. They even work on land, they're just not a very good idea, unless you're right next to water. But yeah, we're going to use this as a way to find literally any of those 3 biomes. Savanna, plains, or even a desert. I prefer the savanna and the plains. I think they're prettier. Oh look, we found an ocean monument too. I would recommend on your first day, when you pass things like this ocean monument, make a mental note of them. Even though right now we have no use for an ocean monument, if you are going to do a project involving draining sponges, having a note, or having like, you know, you could even, if you want to be lazy, just place a few blocks of like, I guess we'll use oak logs. Just place something there so you can see it and so you're reminded of it when you go past it. Having access to one of those is going to be great. So yeah, why are we going to a village besides food and the village trades we want later, and the fact that literally all good things will come from a village? The last benefit of villages is they save you another little bit of pain that otherwise will happen on your first day, which is sleeping. So sleeping can be done by making a bed, of course, but beds require free sheep wool, and obviously you could get enough iron that you can, you know, that's a possibility. Getting enough iron that you can just shear some sheep, great idea. Or killing sheep in cold blood, sure, you could do that too. I mean, you monster. Let's be real though, we're all killing animals on our first day, we can't judge. But the other option, see, I don't know if that's a desert over there. I'm guessing it's a desert, but I'm not sure. But just over here you can see there is in fact a desert, and I think, or a beach. It's either a desert or a beach. If it is a beach, it's a beach onto a plains biome, and therefore we'll find something we want anyway. And being able to go to bed in a village is a great way to have a fixed spawn point that is also somewhere very useful. Again, I always recommend Oh, the guy didn't leave earlier. I just assumed that he wasn't here anymore, but he's saying hello to me. See, you know, here's the great thing about Minecraft Bedrock's first night. If you just forget to turn off invite only, if you, by default, your world is open to all of your friends, and indeed, all of your friends' friends, which I think is, okay, we've got some sheep. We could go, we might have to settle here. I'm not happy about this. We can settle for our first night, being a sheep night where we just kill some sheep in cold blood because we're monsters. But that does look to be, nah, it's not. We do not have a plains here. But we do have a flower forest. But again, we're gonna have to prioritize at least a little bit here. We also gonna have to prioritize as far as food goes. Having a secondary food source, what's the best one to do when you're exploring the world? Honestly, it's gonna come back to, if you want good food, you have a plains biome and you have access to cows and sheep, that's great. But the one people forget about is when you're near the ocean, you can just kill fish. Seriously, actually, well, I mean, there's no fish for here, for me to kill, apparently. But you can, in fact, just find some fish. There we go. That is a drowned with a shell. But also, that is 2 chunky big salmon. You better believe you kill them, you're gonna get a fish from each. Oh, look how big that salmon is, too. Did you know big salmon can drop more bones than regular-sized salmon? I bet you didn't. It's not a fact anyone needs to know. But it's a fact I get to know regardless. And so, yeah, on our... Damn it. Because I can't... Should we just eat something so we can... We'll eat the raw flesh just so we can swim after the big salmon. Because that big salmon wants to evade me. A little bit too bad for my liking. There we go. Just like that, we get ourselves some raw salmon. Salmon, again, look how many salmon there is right here. Salmon is such an easily farmable and obtainable on your first night food. And given that they're so big on Bedrock, which I assume is the version you're playing, I mean, why would you play the Minecraft that doesn't have the big fish in it? Are you crazy? Do you not care about fish size when deciding which version of Minecraft to play? If so, I'm not sure I can help you. This video, really, you know, I assumed you had basic skills when you came to this video, but you're not even picking the correct version of Minecraft, it seems. Anyway, so yeah, what I recommend doing, if you are in a situation, because let's be real, the decisions we made in this video involved a lot of calculated risks. One of those risks that didn't pay off is finding a village on our first day. I bet we could have found one were we to keep on going in our boat. But what you want to do if it's nighttime, you don't have a plan, you don't have a bed, you've got 2 pieces of wool, and it's like, oh god, how am I going to do any of this? There's 2 options. One is just, again, if you have an ocean, and oceans are easier to find than not, I find, it's very rare that you can explore for a whole day in a direction and not find either a village or an ocean. I would say it's exceedingly rare. It's not happened to me in memory that I can think of. Also, we're gonna have to take even more flowers. You know what? It's worth doing. Also, sugarcane, another thing you don't realize you need till you need it. Take all the sugarcane you can. It's very common, but still very valuable. So yeah, we've got a lot of stuff. We're living life on the edge. Every guide would say, oh my god, you're in your first night and you haven't got a, you know, like a bed. You haven't got an active food source. You don't have a little dirt shack that you're just going to destroy later anyway. You failed? No, those things are all dumb still. I agree. You should be working towards your actual goals, which is to have, you know, like some actual gameplay going on. And so my recommendation is stay in a bed. See, TTTV Fate Lion managed to make a bed from killing those sheep. Or he found a village because he went the other way. I'm going to assume it's the village solution. I'm not going to assume he's enterprising enough to make a bed. But the other thing you can do is you can kill spiders. This is one of those weirdly little known facts of Minecraft. But 4 string combines to make 1 wool. So if you kill 12 spiders on average, you're going to get yourself enough string to make a bed. Or if you have 2 wool already, you can just make the last one like that. And so yeah, that is my last little my last little tip right there. If things get really desperate, then what you can do is you can go for a tiger village. You will find some food there, but unlike a regular village, which has hay bales everywhere, unlike a desert village, which has a bunch of hay bales, unlike a savanna village, which has a bunch of hay bales, you are not going to be lucky enough to find those in a tiger village. It's like the big downside. You find pumpkins instead. Who needs pumpkins? Actually, you need pumpkins. If you pass on your first day, you might as well take them. Also, the dolphin came with me. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to cook up some food. And while we do so, actually, yeah, we'll cook up some food right here. And while we cook up that food, we're going to kill some spiders. A great thing about furnaces is they'll give you light during your first night. You don't need to make a base or anything. Just look around you on a regular enough basis. You'll be fine. We got 1 piece of string. Do you see 3 more spiders around? I don't. So instead what I'm going to do, after I get some food going to allow me to sprint, You know, this is seeming... I like the way this has happened in such a way that, like, everything has gone a little bit wrong, and we're still doing great, right? We've still got not only enough beef to survive from my little escapades, but also I've got 3 pieces of salmon. I could have spent longer fishing for salmon, especially now I've got food inside of me and I can actually do that. And even though, like, this is going tragically, there's a horde of zombies, just, like, kill the zombies. I mean... It seems hard. They'll come after you, and it's like, how are you going to move and attack them at the same time? Did they just turn into drowns and outside of the water? Okay, you're not sure. But, yeah, truthfully, like, this is why, like, some people recommend having a sword on your first night. Just use your axe. You're going to replace the axe, presumably of iron or something later anyway. Just do that. Also, yeah, your inventory is going to look like a mess. I'm going to prioritize dropping the things that I really don't want later in the game. You know, that one lever, it's going to have to go. And instead, what we can do is enjoy our full iron ingot magic. And also, let's go find a village, shall we? We'll just wait till this smelts. Actually, while it smelts, we might as well kill a few big salmon. This is probably too risky. If you're not familiar with Minecraft mechanics, if you're not confident in the control scheme you're using, for instance, when I play on touchscreens, there's a few risky things I don't do. I would just spend that time looking around, making sure I'm safe. But if you're not too concerned about that, then cook up some salmon. Go find some more, in fact, because this is a great food source that you might need, because there is a chance, again, it's unlikely, but you can spend literally thousands of blocks worth of wandering and not find anything. So now, we take our furnace with us. You don't need the crafting table. In fact, we won't take it to prove a point. Actually, we will use it, though, to make a... should we make an iron sword? I can make a buck. You know, I'm going to make the iron sword because, wow, it's scary and it's nighttime. And maybe, you know, just like how carrying a gun seems a little bit excessive because, you know what, should we make this video that's meant to be a Minecraft tutorial, a commentary on safety in America and the overarmament of the populace? Yeah, you better believe we can. You know, in the same way that, like, more people having guns, like, puts people in a situation where they're more tense because of them, maybe you could argue that's for the good, maybe for the bad. In the same way, maybe just having the sword makes you feel safer. Maybe you feel like, yeah, I can kill things in 2 hits instead of 3, so I'm ready to take down more threats. Whatever way you need to believe it. Also, I think because of that spider I killed, the one that died there, we now have our 3rd piece of wool. And now we get to decide. If we wanna, we can make a bed entirely fine, entirely okay. I can't believe there's a witch there, by the way. You want to avoid witches like they are the plague, because they bring the plague, let me tell you that much. But yeah, while you're looking for a village, you're probably going to find a bunch of spiders. But if you don't find a bunch of spiders, if you don't find a village, if you don't find either of those things, it can be brutal. There's a village, by the way. We finally found one. We also found a lava pit. So, again, a lava pit is another one of those things that if you're not a speedrunner, you might think to yourself, there's not going to be any value in that lava pit. No, lava pits are one of those things you really want, especially at the surface. This is something you make note of. Even though you think to yourself, I'm not going to do that crazy speedrunning lava, you know, insanity, oh, it's actually not a lava pit. It was a single lava bit that's, like, flowing outwards. I'm so sad. I thought there was going to be more lava here. But yeah, I recommend if you do find a lava pit, make note of it. This isn't a lava pit, this is a single source. Leave the lava there, it looks kind of pretty. But if you do find a bunch of lava in, say, a pit formation that isn't a ravine, like this right here, you want to make note of that, because lava has 2 great uses. One, you can use it to make obsidian, that you could, of course, use to, you know, like, you can use obsidian to go to the nether. Are you learning this in the first time from this video? But also, what I would say is you can use lava as one of the best furnace fuels. The only problem with lava is it's kind of hard to transport. You need a lot of buckets. But if you just have your furnace room near a lava place, or you use a donkey in a chest, which you can do if it's above ground, then that's a great thing too. Okay, so here's something, because we're playing Big Fish Minecraft Edition, one of the bugs in Big Fish Minecraft Edition is zombie villages spawn about 10 times as often as they should. So 1 in every 4 villages or so you find, 1 every 4 to 5, is gonna look like this. What I recommend you do in this case, because you still want the beds, you still want the brewing stands, the great things this village is gonna offer you, is just take one of the beds, keep this with you, and now you can leave the village, but you can still go to sleep for the night, have a nice little respawn point set, and in the morning, when you're not attacked by a zombie, this is probably playing it a little bit too close. In the morning, when you're not attacked by a zombie, you can still enjoy the best part of the village, besides the trading, which is the eternal free food. You might think this big salmon has got me covered for a long time. Nah, the big cooked salmon is nothing compared to hay bales. Hay bales aren't intuitively useful as food. I mean, they're more intuitively useful for, like, surviving falls. Like, look at this. There's a 5-block gap, but I fall onto a hay bale, and no damage whatsoever. Wow, so great in... Am I right? But the thing that you actually want is hay bales will turn into 9 wheat. They're like a wheat block if you think about it that way. And 45 wheat, if you take it to a crafting table, at the very least, will give you, what is that, 15 bread? And 15 bread is a lot. And then you assume, oh, it's not just a few of these, it's a lot. So what I recommend doing is, given that you're going to need this later anyway, make yourself a hoe. Definitely make it from the best resources you have available. No, I'd recommend a stone hoe. If you've got, you know, let's make an iron hoe. Let's treat ourselves to the best type of hoe we can afford. And then go through the village, take all of these hay bales with you. They're going to be wonderful and great, and I've got a full inventory, which is why the last thing you want to do on your first night, if you haven't slept already, is this even the first night or is this the first day and night, is I recommend finding a little place to make a temporary base so you can store all your goodies. Let's be honest, we're mostly talking here about the flowers that we've collected. They don't have an immediate use, but they're going to be so useful later on. So what we do is we just chop down 2 pieces of wood. Wood is found everywhere in these villages. We make ourselves a chest, and now, even if you hate hoarding, like I hate the idea of hoarding, but I do it all the time. What you can do is you can throw all of your flowers or all of your just garbage that you think you need later but you don't need right now into a chest, and boom, you've got a free inventory, you've got a place to sleep, you've got an unlimited amount of food as far as your first hours in Minecraft are concerned. In the time that your bread runs out, you should have a healthy cow farm, or if you really want, a wheat farm or a carrot farm, or whatever you're going for. But you've got food to cover you for as long as you need. You've got beds to cover you as long as you need. You've got a furnace, as well as, you know, hopefully some decent access to a fuel. And this is all you really need. You don't need to make yourself a dirt shack. Partially because dirt shacks are dumb and ugly and you don't want that later on anyway, but partially because the best house you can find if you want an ugly house is just a villager house. Sometimes you can't sleep in those houses because there are giant spiders hanging outside, but the truth is, your first night in Minecraft, you can choose to spend it how you want. The great thing about Minecraft is no one can tell you what you can and cannot do, but the other great thing about Minecraft is that you don't need to therefore follow the advice from these YouTubers that made videos about how to survive Minecraft beta all those years ago, and which for some reason is reiterated by some of the videos I've watched, even in 2021. Minecraft is a game that has changed, and your attitude should change. When the village is one of the most OP structures in the game, go to the village. When food is found so plentifully in the oceans, just chilling there for free, you should take advantage of that. And when caves are so readily available, like even right here, you can see it looks like there's no caves around me, except what's that? Is that a little surface access to a cave? Yes, that is. Except imagine, oh, and look at that, there's iron right there. It's so easy to get iron now that you don't need to dig straight down, do that boring little thing. That's dumb, that sucks, no one likes that. Just find a cave, there's one over here, there's one over here. See, this is a random seed, this is a random point on that seed, but there's 2 caves. I'd argue these are 3 caves together, but like, let's just say this is one giant cave, 2 caves. This is it's not really a cave, I'm not going to count it, but it looks like there was going to be a cave there. 3 caves over here, 4 caves over there, there's a 5th cave. There's so many caves, and plains biomes are incredibly OP for your first night. Make sure you take advantage of them. I hope you all enjoyed this video, I hope you found it useful, and I hope it helped you survive your first night. And if it did, don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, and avoid those house fires, which we all know are happening to people who aren't subscribed to the Toy Cat channel by a statistic of greater than 99%. I'd be worried about not subscribing if that was me. And you know, are YouTubers meant to make borderline threats at the end of their videos? No. But again, Minecraft, no one can tell you what you can and cannot do. And that is the beautiful thing about life, if you ask me. Thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, because I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.